It's a conversation nearly all black parents have with their children, sometimes as early as third grade. Yet many whites aren't even aware that it's taking place.
I tell him, you know, honey, I'm having these tough conversations with you in hopes that when you have children, your conversations are lighter.
I sat down from a safe social distance with 3 Detroit mothers who are raising black children. We discussed the talk we have to have with our children that might one day save their lives. In the moments before George Floyd's life was ending, one of the last things he did was call for his mother. I'm a mother, and there's not a day that goes by that I don't look at my son and wonder how much longer I have before white people start to see him as a threat, and he's targeted because of the color of his skin. The truth is, it won't be long, and I'll have to have a very difficult conversation with him about racism in this country long before he's mature enough to fully understand it. It's not anything new, but it's something I feel everybody needs to know is happening, and here's what it's like.
I worry about them growing up too fast in this environment, not that they can't enjoy their youth, but I also know I have to educate them about what it means to be brown or black in this community or any community, right? That they can't necessarily do what their white counterparts can do, and that they have to be smart about how they conduct themselves in public. And so I think about the dichotomy of how do you keep them to be young and enjoy their childhood, yet demonstrate to them and show them and tell them what's happening in the world.
When was the first time you had to have a conversation with your kids about race?
Similar age, when my son, who actually had always been the minority in his school, really didn't know any different until that difference approached him. And so there was a child on the playground that actually said something to him after he had departed from a swing and said, you know, I can't get back on that swing because you touched it, and my mom says that I can't touch brown people. And he came home and told me that, and I was clearly mortified because to a certain degree, we as parents feel guilt that we have put our children in these positions of vulnerability where they're not prepared. And also, I was faced with a conversation I didn't know I was prepared for.
Petra Hurt has been at this a little longer. Her children are older, ages 20 and 24, and yet they are just as affected. What do they think about what they're seeing?
They traumatized. I guess that's the only way I can really describe it. When the original tape came out and they saw it, because of course, you know, young people are social media, very connected on social media, they were in tears. They couldn't believe that, how could this happen? How could somebody just kill somebody on camera, unprovoked, unarmed, and in just such an egregious manner? And they were literally in tears. So it's been a little bit different because my children are older, and actually my daughter sort of took it as an opportunity, as a call for action, and she actually drafted a letter to her friends, to her white friends, and said, you know, we're in pain. And these are some things that you can do in our community, and shared resources and books and websites and petitions and things, and then offered to have those difficult conversations with people to help them to understand the disparities and the deep feelings that people have in the black community.
And these are really difficult conversations, but they're conversations that have to be had, and I'll be sharing a lot more with you on Monday and later tonight at 11. They talk about the fear they have when their kids wear a hoodie, how they teach them to conduct themselves if they're ever pulled over by the police, and why it's just as important for white families to be talking to their children about race in order to ever see a day when we say all lives truly matter. Devin?
So great to hear from those three, but also to hear from you as you keep this conversation going this weekend. In fact, we're going to talk about a little bit more coming up on Flashpoint, but I really appreciate you being that honest about it as well, Kim.
Thank you.